Hello again. Welcome to another episode of the Uranium Market Minute. My name is Justin Hune. I'm your host. I'm the founder and publisher of the Uranium Insider Pro newsletter, the only investing newsletter that focuses solely on uranium and publishes on a regular monthly basis. Today is Friday, November 5th, 2021, and this is episode number 32. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get into the content today, nothing in this video is intended to be investing advice. I'm not your financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Please always do your own due diligence when it comes to investing. Always take responsibility for your own actions. Jumping right into the daily scoreboard today, spot price of uranium up $1.50 to $44 a pound mid-market. Looks like there's some decent volume happening in the spot market today. Yesterday, the SPROTT Physical Uranium Trust took in $24.1 million in new capital and closed at a healthy 3.87% premium to their net asset value. Again, they need to be trading at above a 1% premium to NAV in order to issue shares into the open market via their ATM. Raise cash to buy more physical uranium. They did not purchase any pounds of uranium yesterday, interestingly enough. In fact, there's been a couple of days in the past week where they've been out of the market. There's been some action in the spot market. What does that mean? They're not the only players there. There's other buyers in the spot market besides SPROTT. That's a really good sign. The Treasury yesterday swelled at $77.6 million in cash at the end of the day yesterday, enough to purchase another almost 2 million pounds at the current prices. Since the 17th of August, when their ATM went live, SPROTT has raised $840.1 million in new capital and has acquired just over 17.6 million pounds of uranium. Remember, their ATM at this point has a 1.3 billion allowance, so they've got another almost 500 million to go on that. And as they raise that 1.3 billion, they will re-up and continue to raise capital as long as that capital wants to be in the space, and clearly it does. Turning to the sector equity ETFs, URA reflected no change to their outstanding shares. URNM had an increase of 75,000 shares outstanding, which gave rise to a mandated 12.1 million in buying in the market yesterday, possibly the day before, because we have a bit of a lag, but probably was yesterday. AUMs for the two trusts rose nicely again yesterday, with their combined assets under management increasing by 68 million. They now have a combined AUM of almost 2.4 billion. Turning to the markets and the trading action, things are looking pretty lofty today, supportive for the most part, kind of chopping sideways, but all things considered, very constructive looking. Let's take a look at the charts. URA down a little bit today, but on relatively lower volume. Again, that's what we like to see, right? We like to see the up days and big volume, the down days and smaller volume. Interestingly enough, spot price is moving up very strongly today, but the equities, at least the large equities, are still seeing a little bit of selling, although most of these small and mid caps are flat, if not green. Very constructive looking. Some dip buyers came in today as well. That's good to see. URNM, which we will talk about in just a moment, looking very strong here. This is one of my favorite charts to trade as a technical pattern, where you have this resistance, same resistance point and higher lows. This is really, really an attractive chart. So in my opinion, if this sold back down to the 20-day, maybe halfway to the 50-day, and came up, as soon as we're through this resistance, we are in blue sky territory for this particular ETF. URA has a similar chart. Of course, they've had historically higher prices 8+ years ago, but this is a very, very attractive pattern as a technical trader. In fact, this was my favorite technical trading pattern to trade, where you have this same point, that resistance that the buyers can just not push through, but every time it gets rejected, that low is a little bit higher. It's absolutely gorgeous. Taking a look at the SPROTT Physical Uranium Trust, it is up again today, much smaller volume today than the previous 2 days. However, we are seeing more dip buying happen today. Because the spot price is up, I would think that premium to NAV is shrinking, which could also explain the lower volume. If the market knows that it's at a flat, if it's trading at NAV, let's say, or at less than a 1% premium, there's much less likely to be big volumes into this vehicle. Those volumes are coming in heavier when they know for a fact that money coming in is going to equal pounds purchased in the market. Taking a look at the mailbag, I'm going to address a question which I got about 20 times yesterday via Twitter and or the comments on YouTube. And so this question comes from Matt W from YouTube. Can you talk about the URNM SPROTT deal tomorrow? I need someone to help digest the news a bit more. Okay, so yesterday it was announced that SPROTT is purchasing the URNM ETF's management contract and license of the tracking index that governs the holdings of URNM. URNM is by far the best equity ETF in the uranium space. It is 100% allocated to uranium. It's been managed very, very well. It launched in December of 2019 with a 3 million AUM, and now that AUM is over 900 million less than 2 years later. The same way that SPROTT purchased the management contract over UPC when it took over management of that vehicle, that's what they're doing now with the ETF. Like UPC, which they changed the name to the SPROTT Physical Uranium Trust, North Shore Global Uranium Mining ETF will be changed to the SPROTT Uranium Miners ETF when this transaction closes, which will be probably Q1, maybe Q2 of next year. The ticker URNM will remain the same, and the composition of the holdings of the ETF will remain unchanged. So the way that their holdings are allocated are based on market cap, essentially, and that is not going to change. And the way that they are buying and selling the underlying holdings is also unlikely to change. I don't know if they're going to change how frequently they rebalance, which currently is every 3 months. It probably is going to stay the same. Our take on this is yet another positive for the sector. North Shore did an incredible job with this, but SPROTT is just a behemoth. They have 20 billion assets under management. This is just an additional marketing muscle that's going to come into the uranium space, integrating this ETF into their growing suite of uranium products that started with SPUT will only result in more capital coming into the space, more buying. And again, this flywheel effect just continues to grow and continues to gain momentum. Notably, the SPROTT Physical Uranium Trust is the third largest holding in this ETF. So as SPROTT markets this new product to their clientele, let's say, and we know that their marketing is very vast and very successful, let's say, as they market this to their clients and their clients purchase the URNM ETF, a good chunk, I can't remember the exact percentage, I think it might be 7% of the ETF holding goes into that SPROTT Uranium Trust. And of course, that equals more physical pounds coming out of the market. It's a double flywheel. It's a flywheel on top of a flywheel. The momentum here is just fantastic, and SPROTT clearly has incredible acumen, and they're showing up big in this market, and they know what the heck they're doing. And I'm very pleased to see this, and congratulations to the guys from North Shore. They did a fantastic job with URNM. I hope they got a great payout, and they've done extremely well with this. It's a really, really good product. And if you are buying ETFs in the space, this is the one to buy. There's another vehicle that's also well run in Canada called HURA, although it's much, much smaller. So if you need liquidity, URNM is the way to go. As always, if you are interested in getting a copy, a free sample copy of our newsletter, go ahead and click the link in the description of the show below. I will also pin it to the top of the comments, and this will take you to a page where you can download a copy of our newsletter. So go down below into the description of the video, and you'll get that link there. Please like this video, share it around if you've been appreciating this content. If you join this channel, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell, you will be notified whenever we do a new episode, which is just about every day, at least every trading day. And really been appreciating everybody's support here. Again, this ETF news with SPROTT taking over is just really, really big news. It doesn't hold a lot of meaningful short-term price action, let's say, because the underlying vehicle is not changing. It's essentially staying the same. However, over time, with SPROTT being able to market both what will be the SPROTT Uranium Miners ETF and the SPROTT Physical Uranium Trust simultaneously to their clientele, it's just a fantastic setup here for SPROTT and for the uranium market as at large. So that's going to be it for this week. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and we will see you again on Monday. Cheers.